Hello y'all and welcome back to the channel. Marquita here for another how it's going video. So today I wanted to start with the house plants and also over here in this corner because I feel like I don't always showcase it a lot of times. So this is my corner in my living room where I have two floating shelves. So as you can see what's on the bottom, I have a golden pothos that I propagated and it is doing very well. It's quite happy here. In the middle we have a Mandula pothos, and as you can see I added one of those like fences or support stakes so it can climb because it was just kind of leaning over without any support, so I decided to give it something to kind of grow upwards. If you're not familiar with pothos, as you can see they can grow downwards, or if you give them a pole or any kind of stake, they will start to grow upward. So it really is kind of like training the stems how you want them to grow. And so it looks to be doing a lot better now that it's going up and it has some kind of support. So that is the Mandula pothos, and I found that support fence. It was like $3 at Lowe's, and they also have another shape that was like a circular one. I saw that the second time I went back, so that was um, I have that one, but it's not yet any plants. And next to that is a ZZ plant that was recovering. It kind of like died off and now it's growing back. So that's the ZZ. And then up top we have three ZZs. The two on each side are both your standard green ZZ. And the one in the middle is a Raven ZZ, which means that its coloring is kind of like a dark purple black color. So it does start off growing in green just like the others, but then it starts to turn purple. So it's also kind of regrowing itself as well. So that's what's over here on this wall. Then we'll go right across to my Aerogarden here. Again, this is the Aerogarden Bounty Basic, as you guys can see. And I have two pods with romaine lettuce that I grew from seed. And then we have the cinnamon basil, which is ready to be harvested, growing here. And the lettuce is also ready to be harvested. So I'm probably going to make a salad either today or tomorrow with this lettuce. Now, speaking of lettuce, we're going to take a little trip over to my other Aerogarden. This is the Aerogarden Slim. This is the Slim Elite, and it has three pods of romaine in there. So I only labeled that one, the first one, but they're all romaine. And these are also from seed that I just started. As you can see, it's only been growing for literally a week, 7 days. And it already has sprouts in this one. You probably can't see because it's foggy, but there is a sprout in there. And the middle one had a little something, but it wasn't as tall as the ones on the end. You can also see here there's a sprout in there. You can see the green. So those are coming along. So hopefully it won't take long. I want to make sure I have plenty of salads since I'm going back to work. And we know the lettuce is still iffy with all this going on. So let's keep moving over to some more plants. So I did a little rearranging here. So I repotted my aloe plant, one of my aloe plants, because I have two. And this one here had to spit out a bunch of little pups or new growth, new babies. So it seems to be enjoying the bigger pot. So I moved it into a bigger pot, and also the location because it was sitting over here on the bottom, and I'll get to those in a minute, but I repotted both aloes. But this one is in a bigger pot and seems to be doing well. And then this is a peace lily. As you can see, looks like there's a couple of leaves coming in. There's one folded up. So some new growth coming in there. This is another golden pothos that was propagated. As you can see, there is some new growth coming in here. We have that kind of shiny leaf. That's a relatively new leaf. And then we have a couple more curled up. That's another shiny one. So this one has been doing very well with growth. I repotted it not too long ago into this is a self-watering situation. So I can just lift, you guys can see that kind of clear plastic here. I can just lift this up and water in the bottom. So bottom watering is like what I find tends to work best for a lot of plants. So then they can absorb the water as they need it, and you kind of cut down on the risk of over and under watering. Oh, it looks like there's some more leaves coming in there. And then it looks like even a stem growth kind of coming in right there too. So this one's doing quite well and seems to be quite happy. So I enjoy seeing that. We have over here more pothos. Golden. This is actually all the propagations that you see have come from this particular pothos because it was kind of leggy, as you can see. And so I just started propping and chopping, and it's created several new plants, and this one seems to be doing better and producing a little bit more growth, especially since I wrapped it and gave it something to grow on. So that's another option. If you don't have like the support stakes, you can use a pole like this, like moss poles, and they help as well. And then this is another Manjula pothos here. And this is my original Brazil philandrian, not a pothos, but more like the cousin to a pothos. And as you can see, it has grown quite a bit here. It looks like there's a new leaf coming in on the end down there as well. So things are starting to grow. And then we come over, and I've done a little rearranging in this window display here that I have going on. Here's my white wizard plant. I'm probably going to refill the bulb on this and my monstera today. Again, I do the bulb again allows for the watering and the bottom watering, so as not to have too much moisture, so your roots aren't sitting in moisture. Just adjusting or trying to adjust my light here. So your roots aren't sitting in too much moisture, and they can still get water. Again, this is the white wizard plant that I purchased from Target when they did a collab with Hilton Carter, who is a black plant dad who's done a lot. He basically shows you how you can use plants to like design your house, like how to use it as decor and for accent pieces for rooms, and just a lot of cool stuff with plants. Very knowledgeable. I also purchased the book that he had that was part of this collab that they did at Target, so I would recommend it if you just want some information on like how to prop and chop and best ways to propagate and how to use plants to accent your house or any kind of room or whatnot. That's the information that they had in that book. And again, this is a white wizard plant. It started off in this black vase there that the uh, Snow White plant is in right now. That's a waffle plant, but it's called the Snow White for obvious reasons. It's kind of like a purple and white and green color, whereas the original is just green and purple. But it was in that pot actually, and as you can see, it definitely has outgrown that pot and continues to grow. I think there was a new leaf, some relatively new leaves there. As you can see, the kind of again shinier looking leaves like this one. It's relatively new, and I think there are a couple coming in. I thought I saw one rolled up not too long ago. So it looks like there's some more coming in, coming soon. It looks like right in here. Um, right in there, some growth happening, but it seems to like the window. As you can see, it loves the light, and it's been doing very well. And then we also have my other monstera that I purchased here. I moved it over here to the window. It really didn't have a home prior to a few days ago. It was kind of sitting either on my table or on my TV stand, so I've since moved it over here. So it seems to be happy. There's that a new, okay, no, that was just the angle I was looking at it. Then we have over here, as you guys can see, sorry, at the bottom, I repotted the large aloe that was sitting on, it was on the bottom before, but I repotted it because as you can see, it has sprouted out and it has some big and little pieces, so it's doing a lot, and the pieces are actually pretty, the big pieces are actually full, and they have a good amount of aloe, like I could actually cut those and use the aloe in there, so it's a good size. And then we have the one sitting up top, so I'm just going to show those. Nothing new. I just kind of rearranged some things. I did take a couple plants back to work the other day, so there's a little more space over here on this. The two plants that were sitting here were the two croton plants, two variants of croton, two different types that were sitting here. So what I did is I moved my cactus up on the top in the middle, and the Rex plant right there was already there, and I'm debating on whether or not I want to take it back because it was at my job last year, and I brought them home for the summer, but it was there, so I may take it back. And this is another pothos propagation which had been there, and I'm debating if I want to put the a support fence in there and let it climb, and I think that might help it out a little bit. These are my succulents hanging out, and I'm debating if I want to take those to work too, because I have like a wall of windows, and they all have like a nice windowsill, so plenty of room for plants, but I also don't want to have to haul them so many plants back at the end of the year. So I'm probably only going to take maybe 2 or 3 more and have maybe a total of like 6 plants hanging out in my room unless I find something, you know, at Lowe's later on. Then I might just get it. And on the bottom down here, we have the neon, as you can see, is enjoying itself. It was also at my job last year, but I think it's happier here. With the amount of light, it's kind of in the perfect setting, so it gets light, but it's not too much light. And it has been thriving since I brought it home and put it down there. So I think I'm going to leave it there. It's another Brazil philandrian up here too. So I'm thinking I might leave that here. So I'm just debating what else I might take back to work. The cactus was also at my job, so I'm debating if I want to take it back and maybe take the Rex back, and that'll clear off more space for, you know, a potential other plant. I'm not going to take my big baby, I'm going to call her Big Mama Monstera, over here. I'm going to leave her here. I'm not going to risk injuring her, transporting her back and forth from here to my job and then, you know, having to do it again. My coworker actually has a huge Big Mama that Monstera that she keeps in her classroom, and it is quite a task to transport her back and forth. So I think I'm going to leave her here. She seems to be happy here in the light. Again, I'm going to refill her water globe as well. She has spit out, you know, new leaves. The newest one is this one here on top. And also she spit out some, like, I don't know what to call it, roots, I guess you could say, even though it's sticking out over there. And I noticed those was one there, and it's another one, I think, somewhere on the back I saw. There was like two different ones, and I was kind of surprised because I'm just like, there's not really anywhere for me to put that. Um, but that was just interesting. So yeah, she seems to be happy, and I would like to keep her that way because I really like her. So again, this is her new name is Big Mama. So Big Mama Monstera is doing her thing, and like I said, I'm going to give her some more water. And she seems to like that location. It seems to be a pretty good one, so I'm going to leave it there. So, of course, as always, we are going to end and wrap up with the balcony garden. Now, I will say a lot of what you're going to see, there are some things that have quite a bit of growth on them in terms of my peppers and all that. But you will see the tomatoes they look a little bit bare. In terms of ripe ones, there are a lot of green ones still there, but I just harvested a bunch of them. Last week, so that's why they look a little bit bare, but trust me, there are tons of them, and tons of them came in and have been coming in, and we've been getting rain for the past few days, and that has made my pepper plants very, very happy. So there's lots of growth in that pepper department. So that is all for the house plants, the Aerogarden, and we'll wrap up with the balcony garden. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to tune in on Sundays for more How It's Growing, where we talk about gardening, houseplants, Aerogardens, and anything else related to being a plant mom. And sorry about last week. We actually had a really bad thunderstorm that knocked the power out pretty much all night. So I didn't do my filming and uploads because my power didn't come on until like 3 o'clock the next morning, and it was the Sunday before I was supposed to start back at work. So yeah, lots going on, but hopefully we'll keep it coming in the future. Again, thank you so much for watching, and on to the balcony garden. Make sure you like and subscribe.